Joining us tonight for a rapid response panel, Brad Woodhouse, president of Americans United for Change, and Zerlina Maxwell, contributor to the Griot. Zerlina, you first tonight. Another shoe seems to be dropping in the Christie investigation, and now this story about funding going to a project where a mayor, Democratic mayor, was favorable to the governor. What do you make of it?
Well, I think that the narrative that Chris Christie is a take charge kind of guy that has control over his office, that media created narrative is OVER, over for Chris Christie today. And I think that certainly the news in the Star-Ledger about the money that went to the town of Belleville versus the money that did not go to the harder hit town of Hoboken, it shows you what happens when the governor's office and the governor's administration is endorsed by someone. So you can see sort of the opposite side. What happens when they do something the governor likes? You get the money. When you do something the governor does not like, then you don't get the money, even though that you are entitled to it and need it after such a horrific storm like Sandy.
You know, Brad Woodhouse, if this governor is such a trusting guy, why doesn't he come out and explain this story? Does he have to be under oath? Does he have to get a subpoena? Does he have to count on people around him? All the governor has to do is come out and clear the air about this most recent story. Your thoughts? Why didn't he do that?
Well, I think he's not doing it because there are probably more shoes set to drop. And here's the problem for Chris Christie, is that he thought one press conference was going to solve his problems. And what he did was he promised cooperation. And what he's done since then, he's gone to Florida and campaigned for a Republican governor down there who didn't want to be seen with him. And he had his office attack one of the Democrats investigating Bridgegate, and now he's basically gone underground. He's not saying anything. He's not doing anything. Ed, I think his bigger worries now are whether or not he can survive his governorship, more so than whether or not he can be a presidential contender.
Chris Christie has never gotten a free pass on this program. I just want to point that out. I have been covering his assault on the working class for years, and this is what I had to say last summer. Let's check it out.
Tonight, we are going to expose the real Chris Christie, the media darling of New York City, the media darling of the mainstream media. He's done nothing wrong. He's really a moderate. No, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
One of the first things he did as governor was to go after 6,000 educators in New Jersey. Now, you can't tell me that there's 6,000 bad teachers in one state anywhere. It was a budgetary move. It was an attack on public education, and this was back in 2009, and this is why I have just been on this guy's trail all along, long before any traffic problems, and now this is all starting to uncover. But Zerlina, why has he been such a media darling? Is it his moxie? Is it his style? Is it his off the cuff? And how fast is that wearing thin?
You know, I certainly think it's part personality, but part of it also is that Republicans right now have no one who can challenge, the potential candidacy of Hillary Clinton in 2016. And so part of it has to do with the fact that you don't want, a blowout in the 2016 election. You need somebody who you can build up and create hype around to challenge a potential Hillary Clinton candidacy. And Chris Christie fit that bill before. Now he does not, right? So the same NBC Wall Street Journal poll shows that he's down 20 points among independents. That is killer for his potential as a general election candidate, which is really the only reason Republicans would have voted him out of the primary.
That's right.
At this point, Brad Woodhouse, would he be doing the Republican Governors Association a favor by stepping aside?
Well, I certainly think so. And I was on a program on another network last week where a fellow Republican called on him to do that. Consider this. He was in the state of Florida. He was raising money for Rick Scott, who at some point in the past 2 years has been the least popular governor in the country. Rick Scott didn't want to be seen with Chris Christie. He's a problem for the Republican Governors Association. In fact, he's a problem for the Republican Party generally right now.
What do you make, Zerlina, that they have combined the investigative committees in New Jersey and streamlined a lot of this?
I really think this is big trouble for Chris Christie, mainly because, anyone who's writing an email should learn the lesson that the E in email stands for evidence. And so whenever you have a situation where you're getting 20 subpoenas for documents, clearly from the first batch of documents, we saw that they do not have the appropriate level of discretion when using their Gmail accounts. And so I think that, like we've said before, there's many, many more shoes that will drop. And I think that Chris Christie really is in big trouble, and like Brad said, really needs to be concerned about keeping his job as governor and should really just ignore any talk about the presidential campaign.
Well, now that this story is out about Bellevue, New Jersey, and an alleged, kickback for a political favor of support, it would seem to me that this is going to make other people who are going to be subpoenaed really nervous. That it just continues to drip. And people are going to be playing with their careers and their lives if they don't come forward and tell the absolute truth. And do you think, Brad, that we're going to find out that Chris Christie knew a heck of a lot more than what he said?
Well, I do think we'll probably find out that he knew a lot more than he's saying. But, Ed, there's an issue here about what he should have known or what was willful ignorance. I mean, why was he not more curious about what happened in Fort Lee? Why didn't he do something about it at the time? And the truth here is that I think we'll find out that he at least promoted a culture that encouraged this stuff to happen and had his tacit approval, or he was directly involved in it right from the top.
All right, Brad Woodhouse and Zerlina Maxwell, good to have you with us tonight on The Ed Show. Thanks so much. Coming up, Music Man Rush Limbaugh lands